What is up, everybody? And this is Chill, and this is my vlog slash video series. Let's just chill. This is episode 3, continuing from the last 2 episodes. We're going through my discography, talking about them a little bit, and giving them a rate. So if you haven't seen the first 2, I suggest you check them out now. If not, we're not going to do much talking, we're just going to jump right into things. The next project on the list is It's All Chill EP. This was an interesting project. It was pretty dope. Got lighter vibes, stuff to chill out to. No features, all chill. And some of my favorite tracks on it, ironically, is the intro and outro. Usually I just put those in there to keep the project rolling, but since this EP was short and I put a lot of work into the whole EP, the intro and outro just not only are the dopest tracks on there, but they flow so well and everything just does so good. And there's another track on there that was very interesting, a joint called My Fire. And the interesting part about this track, while not one of my favorites, like I said before, it inspired the reggae series that we're going to be talking about in a little bit. This vibe was more for some and not for others on this EP. So while me personally, I would give it a 10 out of 10. Thinking about it on this episode, I'd have to give this a 7 out of 10 just from the public's perspective. Like I said just a couple seconds ago, the song My Fire inspired the reggae series, so we're going to start talking about that now with the first project in the reggae series, the Firstborn Son EP. The reggae series is a series of EPs with all reggae inspired beats on it that are still a little hip hoppy, so there's a little bit of a fusion there. And what I did with the reggae series was basically I got super stoned before I started the series, then went into my studio and I freestyled all these songs just with the vibes to smoke to. And the first one, it was just a little bit of an experiment, but it came out a lot better than I thought it would, especially for the style. So I love this project, and some of my faves on this one are Every Day and Dry Them Tears. So like I said, came out so good for just a new experiment, something that I'm doing for the first time. So I definitely have to give this EP a 10 out of 10. After that one, I did another interesting EP, one called How Much Further. The idea of this one is that there are 4 versions of the same song, but with different styles based on the feature that is on the song. So while the beat and the hook are all the same, there's a version with Con Levi Richmond Da, my boy Addy M. There's a solo version that's just me, and there's one with Gmo Sosa, and it also includes one bonus track that is not those things, just a bonus chill song, so the project doesn't get too boring. I really honestly can't pick a favorite because all the versions of the song, they're so different in their own ways, but yet amazing. So this one, I've been giving out a lot of 10 out of 10s. So the one minus that I could get on this one, if you listen to this over and over again, it might get a little boring because there's 4 of the same songs on there with as far as the vibe to it. Musically, like I said, with the hook and the beat, but each one just more amazing than the next. So I'm going to give this one a 9.5 out of 10. So after how much further, I started to realize that the first reggae EP was getting a lot of views, getting a lot of likes, getting a lot of shares. Everybody was loving it. So I figured that I'd have to continue to ride the wave. So after this, I went to the second reggae EP called Take It Easy. Just like the others, it was a smoking EP with no features and purely freestyled with the reggae type beats on it. My favorites on this one, two songs called one called Marijuana My Religion and Every Day Part 2, which is actually a sequel to one of my favorites on the first reggae EP. This one was a good sequel, but it wasn't quite as good as the first, and still got a lot of good ratings and stuff like that. So I would have to give it an 8.5 out of 10. After this comes the Green Room EP Volume 5. And before we even get any further to that one, obviously, this was an interesting time in my life when I was making these EPs because it's kind of smoking EP after smoking EP after smoking EP. So obviously, I was smoking a lot during this time. This EP had no features, and this was the last Green Room EP. The interesting part about this one is this is the PSB, or Platinum Sellers Beats Edition. This particular EP was all produced by PSB. And two of my favorites on there is I Get High All the Time and another song called Smoke and Grind. This was definitely the staple in the Green Room EP series and one of the best ones there. So I give it a 9 out of 10. One of the reasons why I was smoking a lot in that period of time brings us to the next EP, Off My Chest. I was having a lot of personal and family issues and dealing with a lot of stuff. So this EP features a lot of emotional and diss records from me towards the people that I was having problems with at the time. It's not for everyone, and there's no features on it. And all the songs on there were called Off My Chest. They were just given different numbers. So my favorite song here is number 1 and number 4. It's hard to give this one a rating because, like I said, it's very emotional and personal to me. So I would give it a 10 out of 10. But again, based on the public, they might not like it as much. Because they might not have the same connection as I do to some of the lyrics that I'm saying on here. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. After that, I saw the Reggae EP series still growing from the second one, so I decided to do a third one. This is crazy because things were getting so crazy around this time, and everybody was loving these reggae EPs. And this was my first collaboration with DJ CY. So I just kind of rushed into this reggae EP a little bit while it was crazy, and it was put out right on the spot just because I was trying to follow the wave. But while it was good, it was a little rushed, so you don't get the vibe quite as good as you did on the last two. So I give this one an 8 out of 10. After that, we're moving on to something that's finally not an EP for this particular thing. We're moving on to really old school. And this is going from the smoking joints back to real rap. I mixed a lot of old and new school styles, and the intros, outros, and interludes on this particular project are poems that I wrote that don't have beats to them, so it's just spoken word on some tracks. And I think this is one of my most underrated projects. Some of my favorites outside of the poems is there's a bars series on there and some bonus freestyles and a lot more. Almost every single thing on this particular project is good. I love the style and everything on it, so I have to give it a 10 out of 10. After this, we go back a little bit to the smoking things, and we start with the Stoner Simpson EP Volume 1. This EP series is basically just a replacement for the Green Room EP series because I don't like to take anything and push it too long when it comes to a series. This had a little bit of a newer vibe also, whereas the Green Room EP series had more of an old school smoking vibe. This was the start of a great series, and it left off right where the Green Room was supposed to end. And it was fun, but if you compare it to the other series and you look into the future and listen to some of the others, it wasn't the greatest, so I give this one a 7 out of 10. Alright, everybody. We went through another round of my discography. This is episode 3. There's only 2 more of these until we get to some stuff that might be a little bit more fun for some of you, which is just going to be chill, talking about the game and things that are relevant right now. So thanks again for watching another episode of Let's Just Chill, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tell all your friends. So this way every day we can all just chill.